So today there's a rumor going around that jetpacks are potentially coming back to Call of Duty. I just want to talk a little bit about it, give my thoughts on it, and check out some tweets and other responses to the potential re-announcement of jetpacks to COD. We're over here on Charlie Intel, good old place to find all information that we need basically. Data miners have discovered that wall running with Omni movement exists in BO6's files. Wall running is also rumored to be a part of this year's Call of Duty game as the next step of Omni movement. Now, disclaimer. I actually like jetpacks and wall running. So if you don't like jetpacks or advanced movement or whatever, this video might not be for you, but I personally enjoy it. Not necessarily because of the skills gap, but more because of the fun factor. Honestly, the whole skill gap movement thing, that doesn't really matter to me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really care for the arguments about it being related to skill gap. I just think it's more fun. I think it's way more fun to be able to wall run, jetpack, and it just adds a whole different verticality to the game that I think makes it really enjoyable. And I grew up on older Call of Duties. I played classic boots in the ground CODs. Yes, I did all of that. I'm not some new gen. 6 months, I'll be 30. This is what we know about the rumors pertaining to Call of Duty 2025. The campaign is set in 2035. It's going to be a sequel to Black Ops 2. Multiplayer will have Omni movement with wall running. It's going to apparently include BO2 maps remastered and futuristic themes, and it's also going to obviously include new maps. But to be honest, that doesn't really get me hyped based off of the new maps that we got throughout this year, and we're going to talk about some maps that are potentially coming back in Season 4. But the maps that we got throughout the entirety of BO6's life cycle have honestly been a joke. They've been very subpar for the most part. There have been a couple of acceptances, in my opinion. I like Haven, I like Nomad actually, and I actually like Mirage. Are they good comp maps? Not necessarily, but I do find them to be pretty enjoyable maps, honestly. Zombies is going to be round based and potential transit type map at launch, which would be really, really cool. I'm shocked they didn't do that for BO6. It just feels like the BO6 content cycle has been mostly focused around what guns are going to be coming back versus the maps, the modes. Zombies is actually still pretty decent. Multiplayer, I don't really have an opinion on multiplayer at this point. I don't really know how to feel about it, to be honest. But I feel like there was a lot more we could have done. And maybe it's just because, in my opinion, MW3 and Sledgehammer kind of set a standard last season or last year with that game. There were so many good maps that came out in post-launch. Like, we had, like, what, over a dozen remakes or special modes maps in addition to the new maps coming back, too. Like, there were, like, 30 or 40 maps or something like that in MW3. I rate that game highly just for the post-launch content, personally. We don't even know when we're gonna get any information on this. Unfortunately, Season 4 is going to be announced soon, and it apparently starts on May 29th. May 29th is a week from this Thursday. So we're gonna be getting Season 4 on May 29th. That's actually crazy. That feels so soon. But we've also been on Season 3 for quite a while, honestly. Now, here's another thing. A double jump type movement has been found in the BO6 files after the recent update. It's not clear yet if this will be actually used in Call of Duty 2025 or leftover code. I highly doubt this is the basic code for it. I don't know. I'm not a professional coder like I used to be. But yeah, here we are with some wall running and an interesting FOV. I wouldn't trust a single person with this access to the game like this. This is just very big room for cheating. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. The jetpack movement is here. The wall running. Now, if you've played the brand new Joint Operations, that actually had a mode where, or there was a perk you could get in that game where you could double jump, and there was an anti-gravity perk too that allowed you to kind of float in the air. So it kind of felt like classic jetpack movement, honestly. The wall running is obviously new. If they bring back jetpacks, I think we're going to be in for a good new era of Call of Duty, personally. But we say that every year too. And I know that, so I don't want to get that overly hyped, of course. Oh, Black Ops 6 Warzone Season 4 intro cinematic. Now, I have heard that we're getting the FFAR back, too. Let me raise the quality of this because for some reason it's set to as low as it could possibly go. All right, here we are. I've been seeing rumors that the FFAR is returning because of its appearance in a trailer. Trying to see if we can see any of the guns here. I'm not seeing anything in particular. This looks like a MW2. Is this an MW2 map? Okay. What's that? Yep, that was it right there. There it is. Yep. There's the FFAR. Seeing Adler's made me realize I still haven't played the BO6 campaign yet. Damn. That was the FFAR. There's another new gun right there. This is probably going to be a new map, maybe. Yep, that's an FFAR if I ever saw one. Are we getting C4? Like actual, like, decent C4? Alright, there's Adler. Oh, this is the dude from Warzone, Warzone's quote-unquote story.
You took your time.
I don't remember what his name is. All I know is he was supposed to have died, but I guess he didn't. That is one thing with the new era of Call of Duty. Characters don't stay dead in a lot of these iterations for some weird reason. I don't know why. Black Ops 6 Season 4 Battle Pass completion skin. Victor Stitch Cusman, the Yard Dog skin. What do people have to say about this? Because again, he's supposed to be dead, isn't he? So mid, but what's the gun? Man, dude, people just call anything mid. That's a lever action style rifle, it looks like, and there's a pickaxe. Yes, I remember seeing this in the 90s. This game is not what the devs promised when they did that deep dive video. Well, they were talking about campaign. I don't think that's the... I think that's the thing people kind of get mixed up. They were talking about the campaign, not the multiplayer, ever. I don't think they ever once said the multiplayer was going to be 90s based. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched that deep dive. But the roadmap will apparently be announced tomorrow, so I'll have to make another video on that. And then this is what has been kind of bothering people. Fringe is coming back. Fringe is a great map. It would have been phenomenal to have this in throughout the entire year for the competitive scene. We've had nothing but a bunch of subpar maps for comp and just in general. And now when the comp season is going to be over, because you got Major 4 coming up, Champs, and then EWC, but I doubt they're really going to throw any new maps in the pool unless they decide to for EWC and maybe Champs, but to see. But it sucks that we're getting all of these actual good maps this late in the year. Ah, man, why do they wait till the game's about to basically be dead to start doing this? I don't know. All right, so we got people saying peak map, took too long, wall running suddenly found, and there's a BO3 remake coming. We'll see. Or, you know, I think he meant to say BO2 remake, but I'm thinking we're maybe gonna get a wall running mode. That's what I think. It would be a waste if we're bringing back BO3 maps that were designed around jetpacking, but we don't have a game mode where you jetpack and you wall run. I think that's a necessity for these kind of maps, maybe. This dude painted Fringe. That actually looks insane. That's so cool. But I wonder why we waited so long to push it out. They're definitely adding a limited time mode with wall running and jetpacks because they want to test the waters and see how the community reacts to it before they release a game like that. They're not going to fully redesign the entire game based off of community feedback for a jetpack mode in the technically previous COD. So I think they're probably going to add the mode, maybe, hopefully. That's really all I do is hope, man. I hope we get that. This season was themed like MW19 with the AMAX, the Kilo, the HDR, the GRAW. So I wonder if the next couple of seasons, because I don't know how many more seasons we're really going to get a BO6. I wonder if they're going to be focused around previous Call of Duty titles. Some people were thinking like Vanguard guns are coming back, which I hope not. I've seen enough MP40s. I hate that we keep getting the PPSH with every single Treyarch game. That's getting old too. That's not a good post-launch gun. We get that every single Treyarch game. They got to stop doing that, in my opinion. I don't know. I wonder how this is going to turn out. I'm very curious. What are your thoughts on jetpacking? I think it's a fun addition to Call of Duty. I think every few years a jetpack COD is perfectly okay. I can understand people were kind of sick of it after 3 years straight, but I think it's time for a real actual shakeup, in my opinion. I like futuristic Call of Duty, so that's just my opinion though. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, guys. And this has been Jay. I'll see you later. Peace.